Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood. Today we'll be learning about castles, but before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. When you picture a medieval castle, you often imagine a grand, almost palatial estate fit for a king or queen with roaring fires and lavish rooms, just like we've seen in so many movies. But is that the way people actually lived there from day to day? What do you think? Were medieval castles glamorous fairy tale homes? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Today's word is machicolation. M-A-C-H-I-C-O-L-A-T-I-O-N. A machicolation is an opening between the supporting brackets of a castle parapet through which defenders could drop stones, boiling water, or other unpleasant things onto attackers below. If you've ever seen a castle with a stone overhang at the top of its walls that has holes in the floor, you've seen machicolations. They're a key defensive feature that allowed soldiers to protect the base of the wall without exposing themselves to enemy archers. The word comes from an old French word, machicoler. This word is a combination of macher, M-A-C-H-E-R, which means to crush, and col, which means neck. So it literally means to crush the neck, which paints a pretty clear picture of what these openings were designed to do to invaders trying to scale the castle walls. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about castles. Number 1. Wales has more castles per square mile than any other country in Europe. The small country of Wales is the undisputed king of castles. It's estimated that at one point, over 600 castles stood in Wales, and the ruins of over 100 of them are still standing today. This incredible density of fortifications isn't because the Welsh were just avid castle builders. It's actually the result of history and conquests. After the Norman conquest of England in 1066 CE, the English kings, particularly Edward I, launched a major campaign to conquer their Welsh neighbors. To secure the territory they captured, they built a network of massive stone castles. This chain of fortresses, often called the Iron Ring, was a statement of power and a strategic masterpiece. Castles were state-of-the-art military technology of their time. They were built to intimidate and control the local population, and their sheer number in such a small area shows just how determined the English were to hold on to their newly conquered lands. Of course, today, castles serve a much different function, as they're now recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Number 2. Many castle staircases were built to spiral clockwise to help with sword fighting. If you've ever climbed a spiral staircase in a castle, you might have noticed it almost always curves to the right as you go up. This isn't just a random design choice. It was a brilliant defensive strategy. Most people throughout history have been right-handed. By making the stairs spiral clockwise, it gave the castle's defenders, who would be coming down from above, a distinct advantage in a sword fight. Their right sword arm would have a wide open area to swing, while the attacker climbing up would find their own sword arm hampered and blocked by the central stone pillar of the staircase. This design forced any right-handed attacker into an awkward and disadvantaged fighting position, making it much harder for them to effectively swing their weapon. In the tight confines of a castle tower, every single advantage counted. This simple but ingenious architectural trick could mean the difference between successfully defending a tower and being overrun by invaders. Number 3. The largest ancient castle in the world isn't in Germany or England, but the Czech Republic. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, Prague Castle is the largest ancient castle complex on Earth. It covers nearly 70,000 square meters, about the size of 7 football fields. Now, to be clear, this isn't really just a single building. It's more like a sprawling village of palaces, churches, towers, and gardens, all enclosed within castle walls. It has a rich history dating back to the 9th century. It's been the seat of power for kings of Bohemia, the Holy Roman Emperors, and presidents of the modern Czech Republic. Unlike many castles that were built all at once, Prague Castle grew and evolved over many centuries. This means as you walk through it, you can see a stunning variety of architectural styles, from Romanesque basilicas to grand Gothic cathedrals and elegant Renaissance palaces. It's a living museum of history that has been continuously inhabited and used for over 1,000 years, making it one of the most significant cultural monuments in the world. Number 4. Castle bathrooms, called garderobes, were just small rooms with a hole that opened to the outside. Life in a castle wasn't always glamorous, especially when it came to plumbing. The castle toilet, known as the garderobe, was typically a small stone room or closet that jutted out from the main castle wall. Inside, there was a simple stone or wooden seat with a hole that opened directly into the air, allowing waste to fall down the side of the wall and into the moat or pit below. The name garderobe is thought to have come from the French for wardrobe, as people would often hang their clothes in these shafts. It was believed that the ammonia from the waste would kill fleas and other pests in the fabric. As you can imagine, this system wasn't exactly private or pleasant smelling. The area at the bottom of the garderobe shaft had to be cleaned out periodically by a worker with the unfortunate title of gong farmer. Despite the obvious drawbacks, though, garderobe was actually an improvement in sanitation for its time, as it moved waste outside of the main living quarters, which was a step up from the simple chamber pots that many people used. And our fifth and final fun fact for today: some English castles were built purely for show, with no other purpose at all. While most castles were built as formidable military strongholds, a trend emerged in the 18th century in England to build sham castles. These structures, also known as follies, were designed to look like picturesque medieval ruins from a distance. They were built for wealthy landowners, not for defense, but simply as decorative features to make their landscaped gardens and estates look more romantic and impressive. You might say they were the ultimate garden ornament. The sham castles often only had one good-looking side, with the back being plain or unfinished. They were all about creating a dramatic and beautiful view, showing how the idea of a castle had shifted from a practical fortress to a powerful symbol of history and romance. Now for some news you can use. If you ever get a chance to visit a real castle, a good tip to appreciate the history and the significance is to look beyond the romantic images and find the human details. It's easy to be amazed by huge walls and tall towers, but the real story of a castle is in the small things. Look closely at the stone walls for masons' marks, which were unique symbols carved by individual stonemasons to show which blocks they had worked on so they could get paid. Also, pay attention to the stone steps on those spiral staircases. You can often see dips and grooves worn down by countless footsteps of guards, servants, and nobles over hundreds of years. Look for the narrow slits in the walls and try to imagine an archer standing there waiting for an attack. These small, personal touches bring the history of the castle to life and connect you directly to the people who lived, worked, and fought there long ago. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked if medieval castles were glamorous, comfortable fairy tale homes we see in movies, or something a little different. Well, the idea of the castle as a comfortable palace is largely a fallacy. For most inhabitants, medieval castles were dark, cold, and crowded. Windows were small slits with no glass, which meant they were incredibly drafty. The main source of heat and light came from large, open fireplaces that filled the rooms with smoke. Privacy was almost non-existent. Lords and ladies might have had a private chamber, but everyone else often slept in the same large halls where they ate and worked. They were first and foremost military fortresses, and comfort was a distant second to safety and defense. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about castles with me today. Be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.